I'm good, very excited to speak with you about this very good but a bit heartbreaking of a film.
Well, nice to speak to you too. Yeah.
So you do tackle early onset dementia in this film, and I think you've been praised for tackling it. It's also, I think, a very grounded film. Do you have you been able to connect with people who are suffering from this in your journey through this film? I know you said you were inspired early on by somebody, but has that grown? Have you met people along the way?
Oh yeah. I mean, the film was initially inspired by someone that I met, but then I worked for dementia charities for about 2 or 3 years before I even started writing the film. So yeah, it's been an enormous a journey, enormous process, and yeah, I'm still in that world. I still look after people that are living this kind of situation. So yeah, it's touched a lot of people. It's been an amazing experience. A lot of people that I know that are in this kind of situation have been yeah, really moved by it and think it's a really important film. So that's nice to know.
No, it is very, very important. I thought it was also very grounded. Was there any hesitations about tackling such a big subject like this? This is pretty heavy stuff here.
I think, yeah, there's always reservations because I think you want to do it well and you want to do it right. I think if you're dealing with really human issues like this and and challenging stuff, then you have to make sure that you're doing it right. So there's always reservations. But to be honest with you, I was just so inspired by the people that I met um, when I was doing my research that I found that it was yeah, I really wanted to make something of it that was important and and life affirming as well. I think that's really important. It's a film about love, really, and that's the heart of it.
Yeah, we need more positive movies about love these days. So
Yeah.
I do love that. I also like that you tackled a same-sex relationship here. Were you a bit, was there any hesitation or nerves about tackling something like that? Or did you just go in with the average, I'm making a movie nerves?
Yeah, already too many nerves. I mean, no, there was no nerves because I knew right from the start that it was an important thing to do, and it was an important way of presenting same-sex love and an original one. And I
Mhm.
think that is really, really important. And I think that kind of, yeah, that trumped any sense of being, afraid of it. You of course hope to get it right, and you hope to write characters that feel like they've had this lived experience. So you need to get it right for that. But I think, yeah, it's important, and I'm really glad that that is that film.
Well, what I do enjoy about this is you could put any relationship onto this, no matter race, sexuality,
Yeah.
gender. This story applies to so much. So I thought that was good. Though there is one note, this film hits artists pretty hard. I noticed both
Mm.
characters here are creators, and one is a writer, one's a piano player.
Mm.
Was that a conscious decision to kind of discuss writers maybe losing out on their gifts? Was that a conscious decision? Because that hit me kind of hard.
Yeah, it was a conscious decision, partly because I am a writer, or at least an aspiring writer, and I think I was naturally sort of maybe thinking about how I would react if this diagnosis happened to me, but also because the type of dementia that Stanley's character has, which is called posterior cortical atrophy, if you if you want to know, it affects your spatial awareness and your reading and writing ability before it affects your memory or anything like that. So
Wow.
once I'd worked out that that was the type of dementia I wanted to speak about, it made absolute sense that that character was then, had spent their life using those faculties, because there's
Yeah.
even more tragedy in that, of course. Yeah, so that was the reason, really.
Now, let's lighten up a little bit. This movie is also a road movie. As much as it's a very serious film, there's
Yeah.
that road aspect, which is something you've done before as well. What inspires you to kind of return to this? Is there certain movies from the past or something about the road journeys that you enjoy?
There's a lot about road movies that I love, and the sense that, well, I think in this film, the context of this film, I wanted to tell this kind of story in an original way, and I'd never seen this kind of story put on the road before. I didn't want to
Mhm.
make like a domestic drama in a couple's flat or a house or whatever. So it was partly that, and also just there's something really fun and freeing and cinematically interesting, hopefully, about being on the road, about a literal journey mirroring an emotional journey. I think there's a lot of fun you can have with that,
Mhm.
working within that kind of sub genre. and yeah, all of those things combined, really, because I think, like, of course the film is challenging, but it's also two guys having a lot of fun and bickering and taking the mickey out of each other, as we would say over here, and listening to music and looking at beautiful countryside. So there's all of that as well.
Yeah, I mean the countryside of this was great. You captured that bonding in between on a road trip really well. Is there more stories or more type of road films you would like to do? Basically, I'm asking you if you would do a Thelma and Louise reboot for us.
Oh, as if I don't think it would be a foolish man to try and redo that film. I think I might take a break away from road movies now. I think I've had enough for the time being. I think I might try and do something else. But
Yeah, do something very simple in a house. That might be a challenge for you. Now you've gotten to work with two pretty big actors here with Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci. I like that. I think those are pretty big bucket list for most people. But is
mm.
there any other actors you are like you have to work with? Is there anyone else in your next projects you would like to work with?
Oh, there's so many. I mean, it's like, how long have you got? I've got a enormous list of people that I would love to work with. I think you really just, when you're writing stuff, in your bedroom or whatever, not knowing whether it's ever going to happen or not, I think you really hope that the stuff that you write inspires people that inspire you. And I think
Mhm.
that's really what happened with this film. And I'm infinitely yeah, lucky to have worked with those guys, because they're amazing, and the work they do in the film, I would humbly say, is really beautiful and surprising, and a bit of a masterclass, really. So, but yeah, there's so many actors that I'd like to work with. Yeah.
Now there is something interesting about this film. I think you as the director and writer gets to see so much from it, and we get to take it as a different way. Yeah, a lot of us like the ending and things like that. Were there little moments in the film that stand out for you as some of your favorite moments from this?
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few uh, moments that I really really love. I mean, I really like. Well, that's where to start, really. I mean, I I don't love all of it, but there's parts that I love. I think the moments of intimacy between the two guys that hits me the most are actually just the quiet moments, the moments where you're just sitting these two characters in a space and allowing them to exist naturally. I think that that happens quite a lot in the film. It's actually quite a silent movie, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's obviously quite a lot of dialogue, but also there's a lot of silence and a lot of stillness. I think there's a real like authority to that. But I think obviously, the scenes towards the end of the film, without trying to give anything away, that are like, very emotionally difficult and complex and challenging, were very difficult and complex and challenging to write. So I think making those happen as naturally as we did, I'm really, really proud of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That was kind of the exact answer I was hoping for because you did capture those still quiet moments so well. There was so much spoken when there was nothing spoken, and I thought that was very
Yeah.
interesting. Now we kind of go step back a little bit. When these writers, I mean these characters, did you have these two actors in mind for them?
No, absolutely not. Actually, no, I don't. I try really, when I'm writing, not to think about actors at all, which is quite difficult sometimes. But I think it's really useful to let the characters be themselves if you
Mm.
can, and allow them to kind of surprise you, if you like, as characters on the page, and then leave the casting until you've got that locked in. Um, but they were. I mean, it goes without saying, Colin and Stanley were, you know, top. I mean, to get the actors that you love is very rare, and yeah, we're very lucky.
Did you have any fun on-set moments with them? Those two have to be something too much to deal with at times. Was there moments where even in the sadness that you guys just started laughing at something? Because I can only imagine with you guys.
Oh man, they're like yes. I mean, every day, Colin and Stanley are really fun guys. And their relationship is a fun one. They've known each other for 20 years. They're like brothers and lovers
Yeah.
all at the same time, and they're just really fun. And when you're making a film that is challenging and about complex stuff, it's good to be to have a laugh on set all the time. So we really did. We got on really well, and it was a great team around us, and we had a lot of fun, as hard as also the whole thing was, of course.
Do you have any tips for young directors or even actors since you have a wonderful history with acting? I'm an EastEnders fan, so Yes,
All
I'm the
right.
American. I'm the American who watches it. So yes. Do you have any tips for dealing with these harder moments on set? What's your kind of go-to to decompress from these?
Dealing with the harder moments on set. I
Mhm.
think really it comes down to two things. Firstly, making sure that everyone on set it feels comfortable and valued and trusted in the collaboration you're making. I think that extends to like every part of filmmaking. You just have to make sure that everyone on set feels like their voice can be heard and that
Mm,
they're comfortable doing what they should be doing. And then when it comes to really challenging, meaty performance stuff, I think you just have to try and get the atmosphere around you as perfect for that state of mind, for that emotional resonance as you can, and and then hopefully try and do it as little as possible. You know, you don't want to be overperforming those things. You just want to really get it when it's fresh and not put people through it too much. So like preparation, I think, is everything for that kind of thing, and the right atmosphere. Yeah.
good. I hope that's a lesson a lot of people kind of take from that because that's such a good tip. I always wonder, I see these hard hitting films and I'm always like, how do you walk away from that? So those are like good little tips there. Now, you've been promoting Supernova for a while now. This is such a fun film, but are you working on any other projects? What's in the future for you? Can you give us a hint at anything else that Harry's working on?
Well, I've definitely been doing, yeah, promoting this film for what feels like about 400 years in the best possible way, just because it's
Yes, the
the,
pandemic
the
stretched
way that it,
time
yeah, yeah, yeah.
in
But I
this
mean,
the weirdest way.
it's a privilege to do it, but it's a funny one all the same. I'm trying to write something new now, which is very different to this. So it's a bit early to say too much about it, but yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I'm just hopefully that's about to sort of yeah, hopefully you'll hear about that soon. But that's what I'm mainly working on, and then a few TV projects too. So yeah, trying to keep busy and a bit of acting, actually doing that as well. So.
Well,
Yeah.
man, you are walking into 2021 with a lot of goals. So, Harry, thank you so much for speaking with me. This was a pleasure. I can't wait to see what else you have. I've seen Supernova a couple times now. I don't want to say how many times I've put myself through the depression, but
Oh,
I
man.
want to say thank you and I look forward to seeing what else you have in store for us.
Thanks, EJ. Really nice to talk to you, man.